title eliminator. He's now the mandatory fighter for the champion. We're very proud of him. It was a tough fight. You know, Rivera came to fight. You know, he came to fight. You know, he took the fight on late notice, but he was training for a fight, which was a good thing, and he was able to slip in as a replacement. But we're very proud of Joseph Diaz, and I'll bring him up to say a few words. Joseph.
Hello everyone. First off, I want to thank Eric Gomez, Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, my managers, Rafa Moses, Heredia, for giving me this opportunity to showcase my skills in front of millions of people, man. It was a dream come true. It was a great atmosphere. I was very excited just to be a part of this event. Going into the ring, I knew that the fight was going to be pretty tough since we got a late notice fighter, undefeated fighter. We knew that he was going to come out guns hot and try to pull an upset. So going into the fight, I was trying to adapt to his style, trying to adjust to his style, and I was able to figure him out, land my good combinations, land effective shots, and came out victorious. Now I'm the WBC mandatory for Gary Russell, and that's where I really want to fight next. I want to get that world title around my waist and showcase to everybody that I do have the talents and the skill to defeat anybody and to adapt to any style. Thank you guys.
Okay, questions? You have a mic? Okay, good.
Jojo.
Questions? Yeah.
Jojo, first of all, man, congratulations on your win. What was this week like for you? You know, you had, you know, the late replacement, and all of a sudden, you know, you came out with the big victory. Will you guys go after Russell now that you've become the mandatory?
Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. We're going to put full force on Gary Russell and El Heyman and everybody. We're going to try to make that fight happen. It was unfortunate that I wasn't able to fight with Lara, but you can see on Monday on the Ground of Rivals, he looked like he was out of shape. So I personally think that this fight was a lot tougher than the fight that would have been with Lara. I think Lara probably would have ended up quitting or something in the later rounds because he looked like he wasn't in shape for this fight. So he got a back injury, and then we fought Rafael Rivera, a tough fighter. I feel like now I got all the experience, and I'm ready to fight Gary Russell next, man. I want to fight him next.
Hey Jojo, congrats on a great performance tonight. You know, obviously fighting Gary Russell will be a massive leap in competition for you, more recently. Do you think you're ready for that now, or do you think you more?
No, absolutely, I'm ready for it, man. I mean, I've been fighting top elite competition since I was an amateur. Gary Russell, he's nothing special to me. He's just another human being. He bleeds, he cries, he sweats just like me. So I don't fear him. And I mean, I'm gonna come when I fight Gary Russell. I'm gonna take that belt from him, and then everybody's gonna be saying, "Wow, Joseph Diaz is the new champion, and he is something spectacular."
Great. Any more questions? Okay, good. Joseph, thank you very much.
Well, it was a terrific event. We had a great turnout, great resonance. I think the first score that we saw was a little bit rough. I don't know how that one came up, but from my understanding, the HBO scores had it pretty clear for Triple G. I'm not sure. You know, the main thing is he's still champion. He defended the titles. It sets up a terrific rematch. If Canelo wants a rematch, if he wants another crack at the titles, certainly sit down with Eric and Oscar to put that together. Gennady doesn't feel like it was a draw. He feels like he's the winner. He still feels like the champion, which he is, but he didn't think it was that close. So I'd like to turn it over. Abel, you want to say a few words on your behalf?
Sure. Thanks for this great turnout. We had the kind of fight that I thought we were going to have. I thought that one of the judges had her card filled out before she came to the fight. That's unfortunate that in Vegas they seem to go to different schools to learn how to judge a fight. But if Canelo wants a rematch, I'm sure that they'll put it together and we'll have another great one.
Then we can just open it up.
What is that noise? turn up the audio. Somebody's got something else playing.
Gennady just wants to go into questions, so we can get some questions from the press. Well, that was the card I was referring to. I mean, you can make an argument. You know, there were a few close rounds, but I don't know. I really couldn't make any argument at 118, 110. Like I said, my understanding was HBO on their scores had it pretty wide for Triple G. That's how I scored it. You know, we give Canelo respect for his performance in the ring, but I think Gennady pressed the action on a continual basis, and I thought it was pretty clear for him. But like I said, the main thing is he kept his titles, and what else can you say?
Abel, the same question to you, the 118, 110 scorecard.
Like I said, I thought she had her card filled up before she got here. But I voiced the question prior to the fight when they were selecting the judges that I thought that she was so up and down with her scoring. One fight she looks good, and 3 or 4 fights she does terrible. I just think she needs to be reviewed. She can't be that bad, or she can't be that blind, I should say, that she can do that to so many fights.
Turn it up.
Okay, what I was there we go.
There we go.
What I was saying is that I had some issues with her when they gave us the list of judges. I said that she was so up and down with fights. She had one good one and then she'd have 3 or 4 bad ones. I think she needs to be reviewed. I think she needs to go back to school and learn how to judge a fight.
Abel, even though Canelo at times stood and fought, I personally have never seen him move that much in a fight. Did that surprise you?
It did surprise me, but you can't win a fight going away and getting hit with jabs. And like I said, I don't know how they judge that aspect of it, but that's not boxing. He ran for most of the second part of the fight, and you can't win runs that way.
Abel, what part of the game plan worked, and what part did you have to adjust as the fight went on?
We did what we wanted. I think that the first couple rounds, like I said to everybody before the fight, the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for both guys, and we were going to win going away, say by a couple, 3 points. I thought that's what we did. I thought we were busy with the jab. We were busy landing the bigger shots. Canelo lands sporadic shots while he was running away. Harold Letterman, who has nothing to do with either fighter, both fighters are HBO fighters, had it 8-4, which is what I had.
Hi guys, Michael Montero here. This is a question for Eric and Tom. Is there any plan to possibly investigate Judge Adelaide Berg or possibly seek a suspension, anything like that? Obviously, this was not a 10 rounds to 2 fight. This is a very close competitive fight, and that scorecard left a lot of fans who spent a lot of money on this fight feeling ripped off. Is there any plan to investigate that judge?
Well, from our side, we'll have a discussion with Bob Bennett from the Nevada Athletic Commission. He's the one that assigned Adelaide Berg. I'm not sure how far the protest is going to go, but we'll certainly have a discussion. We certainly have a discussion with him and see after he speaks to her, what type of reasoning. Because I agree with you, Mike. I don't know how you can have 10 rounds of 2 the other way. It just doesn't really make sense. But again, the main thing is he's still the champion. It could have been a lot worse up here. So he's still the champion, and if the fans, I think the fans are going to demand a rematch, and we can always put that together and see who's who will assert themselves the second time around.
Gareth A. Davis from The Telegraph. Could I ask Gennady, I'm here Gennady, could I ask you...
Wait, hold one second. I'll actually answer you the question as well. Look, I'm open to either have a meeting with Tom and Bob Bennett, we can sit down with them and talk to them. I don't agree with that score either. I don't agree with it. But we'll sit down and you know, we're not the boxing commission, we're the promoters, and we have to let them, there's a process when this happens with the boxing commission, and we're gonna be supportive. We'll sit down, we'll do whatever Tom wants. I have no problem with that.
Gareth A. Davis from The Telegraph. Gennady, congratulations on the most amazing fight tonight.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, and could you answer in Kazakh and have it translated? You've just had an amazing fight in what should have been the defining fight of your career, and most people believe you should have walked away with a victory. How does it make you feel when perhaps the judges have let down one of the greatest fights we've seen for a very long time?
This is terrible for sport, for boxing. You know, I'm a champion. This is the biggest fight for boxing. You know, if these judges, you know, like today, this is terrible. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And presumably you do want to put the record straight and do it again?
Question for Abel.
He's just going to answer the second part of that question.
Yesterday you told me that if they didn't, the commission didn't.
You know, I'm a fighter. I'm a boxer. You know, if second fight the same, you know, for me it's not my problem. You know, just. I come into boxing. I come to ring, you know, it's not my job. My job only in ring.
For Abel, you told me yesterday that if Bob Bennett didn't make Canelo trim his beard, that you would know what's coming with the judges. Did you feel that way going in?
No, he did trim his beard. It was a lot longer at the weight. He trimmed it up on top. But the judges, there's something that has to be done about the decisions here in Vegas like that. It's just unfair to the fighters.
Here's Bob Bennett from the Nevada Athletic Commission.
Hey guys. So I have some numbers for you. Final attendance was 22,358, which is the biggest boxing event attended here in the T-Mobile Arena. 17,931 closed circuit seats. So look, all around, obviously, it was a great fight. It was a great fight. It was a great event. It was a great fight. Congratulations. Beautiful fight. I mean, that's what the fans love. That's what the fans love. Why? It reminded me of a few of my fights when I was back in the day. Really good. So congratulations. A lot of people are not understanding 118, 110, just like myself. That's the bottom line, but I have to say that Bird, yes, is a competent judge. She's been doing lots of world titles for many years. But yes, 118, 110, okay, yes it is. And I can understand 115, 113, and the draw, 114, 114. I mean, personally, I had it 7-5 Canelo. And people can argue, it could have gone either way. Because it was such a great fight. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think this is probably one of the best fights we've seen in recent years. These guys fought their heart out. Gennady's a tremendous champion, and Canelo's a tremendous champion. You know, and everybody has their opinion, but that's what made it such a great fight. You know, and I mean, I do feel bad for Bird for taking a lot of heat now. 118, 110. That was pretty widespread, I have to admit. But look, this is boxing. She's, like I said, a very competent judge and has been judging for many years. And Las Vegas is one of the best commissions in the world. So I personally felt that boxing won today. I think boxing, it was a win-win-win for everyone. I think this is what the sport needed, a fight like this. A fight like this with Triple G and Canelo.
Tom, straight back here. I'd like Tom and also Oscar and maybe Triple G to address this question. Like Oscar was saying, you and Canelo put on an absolutely fantastic fight. Maybe a Fight of the Year candidate. Unfortunately, we're sitting in a press conference talking about a bad scorecard. What do you think about that as far as the way the public reacts? They see a great fight, everybody's excited, and then they hear that scorecard and they're disgusted. Bob, I talked to you already. I'd like to hear from Oscar and Tom.
That's what I just asked him.
Okay, no, I got you.
You heard me say it. 118, 110 is not, you know, people are scratching their heads. People are confused. What I mentioned was that I did see Canelo win 7-5. It was a close fight, yes it was. And I do have to admit, in front of Bob here, that 118, 110, and Bob is not the judge, but 118, 110, yes, it was a bit widespread. But what I am hearing, chatter and social media, I'm hearing, look, it was a close fight. It was a great fight, actually, because we haven't seen this type of action in such a long time. Did that answer your question?
I'd like to hear Tom's perspective on that. Just that instead of just only talking about the greatness of the fight, we're talking about the scorecards that people disagree with severely.
No, you're right, Dan. It was a terrific fight. Both fighters need to get credit for fighting each other and putting on that type of performance. But you know, if she had scored it, or if that judge had scored it, that same score for Triple G, you know, it wouldn't have been that way either. So, you know, scoring it that wide for Canelo, I think it takes away from a lot of the performance of the two fighters in the ring. And frankly, it's just not good for the sport of boxing. Luckily, the other two judges, you know, it was close. Could have gone either way, but I mean, I personally had it similar to the way HBO had it, and we had Gennady winning by a few rounds. But you know, like I said before, he's a champion, and he'll be happy to defend his titles many more times. Did you want to also get Gennady's perspective on that?
No, I saw computer, all total punches. I saw reaction, people reaction, For this, the judges, it's terrible. For me, this is terrible, just, this is not correct, this is very bad for sport.
Microphone, dude. Jesus.
That's fine. What's your question? This is for Tom. Would you guys prefer to have a rematch in the Garden?
You know, that really depends. This was Gennady's first time up here in Las Vegas. I don't think it's the location so much as the judges. We think Kenny Bayless did a terrific job, fine job between two, combatants that were throwing big punches, and I think Kenny broke them correctly at the right times. He didn't let either fighter hold, and he kept the action flowing. So we have to give him a lot of credit. Gennadi's fought in Madison Square Garden 6 times. He always feels very comfortable there. But when we made this fight, when I was negotiating with Oscar, Gennadi told me, doesn't matter where the fight is, just give me the ring and get me Canelo, and he'll take the fight. So I'm sure it'll be the same attitude that he has for the rematch, and then we'll just have to, maybe check the judges a little bit closer, just depending on where the fight is.
Thank you, guys. Michael Montero again. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a broken record. This question is for Mr. Bob Bennett. Same question. Sir, with all due respect, we've had several controversial scores here in Nevada in recent years. Rarely anything is done. Obviously, this was not a 10 rounds to 2 fight. This was a close fight. Neither fighter won more than 7 or 8 rounds. Is there going to be anything done about Judge Adelaide Byrd? Will there be an investigation? Maybe you'll sit down with her, watch the fight again, have her rescored? What's the plan?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate both fighters and both promoters. I think the fight was very competitive. Why don't you just be patient for a second instead of waving your hands? You're asking me a question. I take full responsibility and accountability for my team, okay? Adelaide Byrd has had over 115 championship fights or elimination bouts. Unfortunately, tonight, she didn't do well. She was off the mark, so... It's not the first one. Well, I beg to differ with you. If you go ahead and look at her last 3 years, for every fight that she's had, you'll find that she's very close to scoring every fight correctly. I have looked at her record over the last 3 years. I've got the records from Fight Facts. So if you've looked at her, then you tell me if I'm wrong.
I think there have been several fights in recent years that fans who are spending hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars for these fights feel the scoring is not adequate. And in this situation where you had 2 judges score a close fight, which is what 22,000 people saw, and millions of people at home, and one judge saw it 10 rounds to 2, I think what we want, sir, and I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt, I'm just asking, what will be done about this, because it's not the first time? Is there a plan to work with some of these judges to find out what they're missing that millions of other people are seeing? Because neither fighter won more than 8 rounds tonight. That's all I'm asking, sir. This 10 rounds to 2 is just a little too wide. A lot of people here are scared to say what I'm saying. I might lose a press credential for the rematch for saying this. But I'm asking what millions of fans, I'm doing my job because a lot of people want me to ask these questions that a lot of people here are scared to ask. I just want to know what will be done. Is there a plan?
Yeah, of course there's a plan. I'll go over the fight with Adelaide round by round. She'll have to articulate to me what she saw, how she saw it, why she scored each round the way she did, and then we'll continue to move forward from there. There's not one person sitting in this audience that, in whatever their profession is, haven't had a bad night. She was off her mark tonight. So we will take appropriate action. We'll go over the fight. We'll look at it round by round, like I said, and we'll continue to move forward. But by and large, I can tell you, we train very hard here. We prepare for the fights. I do a lot of background before I make my recommendations to the chairman and the commissioners for the officials. And unfortunately, and I'm responsible for it, that Adelaide had a bad night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Not at all. My pleasure. I should be asked those questions.
I just wanted to say we're going to have just one more question for Gennadi because he needs to go back and take the rest of his tests. Yeah, so we'll do Chris's question.
Just Gennadi, for Gennadi and Abel, you guys had a lot of confidence coming into this fight that you could control it, that you would win comfortably. It seemed like as you were talking before the fight. For both of you, did Canelo surprise you in any way? Anything that he was able to do that you didn't think he was going to be able to do?
I thought he ran a little more than I expected. But like I said before the fight, the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for both guys, and we're going to wear him down as we did, and that's why he was running. We're going to win a fight going away by maybe 3 points, 4 points, like Oliver, or knock him out in the late rounds. But I expected him to tire out and to run like that for us to win it by 4 points, which is what I think we did.
Not a lot, Chris, he talked too much before fight. He said he's a true Mexican man, just I thought I bring Mexican style. I want a true fight, close distance, he knows he need only decision, only 12 rounds. He moved every round, moving, not stay, just. That is a surprise. He moving, he not stay close to me, not front to me.
So with that, we'll turn it back over to
one more question. How you guys doing? Coach Anthony here with Behind the Gloves. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to Gennady Golovkin and Abel Sanchez. Thank you to Golden Boy for putting on a great card. My scorecard was 116-112 for Canelo, so I don't feel like it was a robbery. It could be 115-113. So my question to Abel is, because Abel said that Danny Jacobs is the second best middleweight in the division. Do you still feel that way, or do you feel that Canelo Alvarez actually proved that he may be the best, or in your opinion, the second best in the division?
I think him and Danny are very close together. I think Danny fought a little harder than Canelo. Canelo just ran a little too much today, but Canelo should be considered up there in the top 3, yes.
So with that, we're going to wrap up Gennady's portion. We're going to turn it back over to Oscar. Performance specifically.
First of all, I think the fight was what it was. It was a fight back and forth. It was some adjustments that both guys made, and they gave the fans what they wanted. At one time, they threw punches at each other for maybe 20 seconds, which is all day in boxing when it's in the 8th or 9th round and they're going back and forth. Canelo performance, compared to some of the writers and some of the fans that I run into, Canelo handled the Grand Reaper very well. And when it happened again, it will be much easier, I believe, but that's another story. I think that, as Oscar said and Eric said, this fight, the middleweight division, one of the reasons I got a tuxedo on is because I know how significant it is to the history and the history of a division that I was part of for 12 years. And so I seen an excellent fight tonight. I seen a fight with two guys wanting to be the best and undisputed and represented going forward. And, we just gotta get over what the controversy is or what the disagreement is. But at the end of the day, no one, I believe, in this building, they have the right, can say that they didn't enjoy the fight itself. Take everything else to the side. We're going to deal with that one way or the other. But the fight itself wasn't a failure.